Yeah, it seems that maybe he was, I'm not gonna say, I don't know if he was under the influence of a drug or whatever, but he ran out of the house barefoot with no phone or nothing.
Lil Jon's son walked out of his house one morning with no phone, no shoes, and then he was just gone. And now a video spreading fast online has everybody talking and feeling uneasy. Some viewers believe the clip, reportedly shared by people connected to industry drama, may have been aimed at his father. Nothing has been officially confirmed, but the timing raised eyebrows across social media. For any parent, a situation like this is beyond scary, and watching it unfold in public makes it even heavier. On February 3rd, 2026, at around 6 a.m., a 27-year-old man stepped outside his home in Milton, Georgia, a quiet and well-known suburb about 30 miles north of downtown Atlanta. He left without his cell phone, without his wallet, and without any personal items. Authorities later stated he may have appeared disoriented and possibly in need of assistance. He didn't take a vehicle. He didn't leave a message. He simply walked out of the front door, headed toward the intersection of Baldwin Drive and Mayfield Road, and disappeared into the early morning darkness.
News, guys, breaking news, man. Lil Jon's son is missing. I got the news from my girl, Reality TV, who is from Georgia, by way.
His name is Nathan Murray Smith, also known by his stage name DJ Young Slade. He is the son of Jonathan Smith, the Grammy-winning multi-platinum producer and rapper known worldwide as Lil Jon. Within hours, the Milton Police Department issued a missing persons alert, sharing Nathan's photo and description across social media and regional law enforcement networks. One key detail made this situation especially urgent. Officials emphasized that he could be disoriented and in need of help. Without a phone, ID, or any way to communicate, he had no direct way to reach out, and no one could reach him either. That silence is what truly shook everyone watching this unfold. Authorities made it clear there was no known danger to the public, but they strongly advised that if anyone spotted him, they should contact law enforcement right away for a welfare check instead of approaching him directly. This wasn't a situation for bystanders to handle on their own. Fox 5 Atlanta was one of the first local outlets to air the alert, reporting that Nathan was last seen near Baldwin Drive in Milton. Soon after, WSB-TV followed with video coverage.
Breaking news, guys, breaking news, man. Lil Jon's son is missing. I got the news from my girl, Reality TV, who is from Georgia, by way.
Sharing his description and highlighting concerns about his well-being. The urgency in their broadcasts was impossible to ignore. Within 24 hours, the story pushed far beyond Georgia. NBC News released a national report outlining the circumstances. People published the family's request for privacy and prayers, including a 2016 photo of Lil Jon and his son that showed their close bond.
So Lil Jon is dealing with a scary situation right now, TMZ said. His son, DJ Young Slade, has been reported missing in Georgia. The same thing, the Milton Police Department put out a missing persons alert Tuesday saying 28-year-old Slade, legal name Nathan Murray Smith, ran out of his home on foot and hasn't been seen since. And he doesn't have a phone. He may be disoriented and he could be in need of help.
USA Today shared a statement from family representatives calling it an unimaginably difficult time. BET focused on the emotional weight the family was carrying, along with police concerns that he may have been disoriented. The Hollywood Reporter added context by noting that Lil Jon was reportedly no longer in a relationship with Nathan's mother, Nicole Smith, which added more layers to an already painful situation. Online, the reaction was instant. On Boss Talk TV, the host shared the update with visible emotion, while co-host Reality TV repeated early details circulating across Georgia media. The internet quickly turned this into a nationwide conversation. The hosts of Boss Talk TV wasted no time telling their viewers to spread the word fast. They read directly from official law enforcement updates, sticking to confirmed details so nobody twisted the facts. The main host then mentioned,
And but not just Lil Jon missing person, but
All of
the
them.
missing people, because I know that he's a celebrity and they get, a bigger publicity and all that, but prayers for everybody that's looking for a missing.
parallel reporting from TMZ, which had already pushed the story onto the national stage and turned up the spotlight even more. During the live broadcast, one detail really shook the room. A local outlet, Rough Draft Atlanta, reported that law enforcement activity was happening in Mayfield Park in Milton, not far from where Nathan was last seen. That update instantly raised tension online because the location hit way too close to the timeline everyone was tracking. But to really feel the weight of this situation, you have to know who Nathan Murray Smith is beyond being Lil Jon's son. Born in 1998, Nathan grew up surrounded by music from day one. Lil Jon has shared that Nathan would kick during studio sessions while his mother was pregnant, almost like he was already vibing to the beats. His mother worked as a dancer, while his father was building the crunk movement that helped shape Southern hip-hop culture. As a toddler, Nathan even contributed vocals to Lil Jon and the East Side Boys' 2001 single Bia Bia, which feels unreal looking back now. Over time, he sharpened his skills, producing beats in high school, training at Scratch DJ Academy, and later attending New York University. He moved with purpose, working as a DJ, producer, and engineer before stepping fully into his own spotlight.
I think that's just a scary situation when you sitting there trying to figure, you don't know. He didn't take his phone. He might have had on shoes, might have didn't have on shoes. He don't have no personal items. That's the weirdest thing right there, because now you got me worried. Now I'm worried about you because I don't know what the hell going on. What happened to my damn son is what I'm asking at that point. So, I just pray for Lil Jon, and I pray for the mother of the boy too, because she going through it. It ain't just Lil Jon because he got a name. It's family, brothers and sisters. Everybody's on high alert when somebody...
As DJ Young Slade, his recent career showed real momentum. He collaborated with his father on Lil Jon's 2024 guided meditation and hip-hop project Total Meditation, helped produce for Too Short's upcoming Farewell album, and dropped his single Feels in March 2025, promoting it heavily on Instagram. This wasn't someone fading away. This was someone building something big. Nathan appeared on MTV's Family Legacy, where he spoke about the exact moment that shaped his future, watching his father command the crowd during a DJ set that changed everything for him. He later performed at major events like One Music Fest in 2025, proving he wasn't just connected by name, he was earning his own respect. He collaborated with artists like Jim Jones and stayed active in Atlanta's tight music circle. He even stood beside his father on Celebrity Family Feud. By every measure, he was building something solid on his own, producing, recording, and mixing his own tracks without leaning on shortcuts. On Boss Talk TV, the emotion was heavy. The host spoke openly about what it must feel like as a parent to get news like this, and you could hear it in his voice. What made it even more surreal? Earlier in that same episode, before the breaking update, DJ Young Slade had appeared in a pre-recorded interview. In that clip, he described his father simply as Dad, the guy who drinks tea and watches movies at home. That calm, everyday image clashed hard with a missing persons alert issued hours later by the Milton Police Department. The contrast was chilling. As of February 5th, 2026, there were still no public updates confirming that Nathan Murray Smith had been located. Searches continued in nearby areas, including Mayfield Lake. Lil Jon had not made any additional public statements beyond the family's request for prayers and privacy. That silence felt louder than words. The host broke it down in a way that hit deep. From a parent's point of view, the fear is raw and heavy. Knowing your child is somewhere out there, unreachable, and you can't fix it or even reach them, that kind of stress is unbearable. He also spoke about the pressure of people constantly asking for updates when you don't even have answers yourself. That frustration builds fast. Reality TV added that support and prayers shouldn't stop with one well-known family. because situations like this can touch anybody at any time. Now, the title mentions Lil Jon's ops, a slang word in hip-hop culture that means rivals or opposition. To be clear, there is absolutely no confirmed evidence connecting any past rivalries to Nathan's situation. Multiple searches across news outlets, social media, and hip-hop platforms show no reports of conflicts involving DJ Young Slade personally. Right now, this case is being approached mainly as a welfare and health-related concern, not a confirmed criminal case. Still, the timing of certain clips online feels intense. A previously recorded interview of Nathan talking calmly about his father started circulating at the same time as missing person alerts. Seeing those two things side by side hits different. Lil Jon, born Jonathan Smith, rose out of Atlanta's late 1990s and early 2000s crunk era as one of its loudest and most dominant voices. As the frontman of Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, he delivered era-defining tracks like Get Low and Baya Baya. His ad-libs, yeah, okay, and what, became pop culture staples, even parodied by Dave Chappelle. He later won a Grammy and produced Turn Down for What with DJ Snake, crossing into EDM and beyond. But staying on top in Atlanta's competitive rap scene for over 2 decades doesn't happen without tension. Success at that level always comes with pressure, spotlight, and yes, friction. One of the most talked about rivalries in Lil Jon's career involves Pastor Troy, born Micah LeVar Troy, another Atlanta rapper known for his aggressive, independent Southern style. The two once worked together on the track Throw It Up from Kings of Crunk by Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. That record became Pastor Troy's biggest mainstream moment, pushing him into a wider national spotlight. But after that collaboration, tension reportedly started to build. In interviews, including a 2021 appearance on Vlad TV, Pastor Troy shared frustration about how things unfolded. He pointed out that no official music video was ever made for Throw It Up, and he suggested label politics may have played a role. After the song's success, there were no follow-up collaborations. Pastor Troy explained that he felt left out as Lil Jon's brand and business empire expanded. He said he wasn't brought back for more records and didn't receive the continued exposure he believed the song's success could have created. According to Troy, there was even a moment where Lil Jon asked him for a verse later on, but it didn't turn into a stronger working relationship. By 2022, during an appearance on Revolt TV, Troy revisited those frustrations in the broader context of Atlanta's crunk-era dynamics. Years earlier, in 2006, he had released a diss track titled Murder Man on his album By Choice or By Force. The record directly targeted Lil Jon, his BME Black Market Entertainment label, and affiliates like Lil Scrappy and Crime Mob. The lyrics were sharp and confrontational, clearly airing long-standing grievances. The track circulated heavily in Atlanta's underground rap scene and among Southern hip-hop fans. However, Lil Jon never issued a public musical response. That silence spoke volumes on its own, and in hip-hop culture, sometimes no reply is the loudest reply of all. Lil Jon didn't jump into the back and forth. He didn't drop a response track. He kept moving forward, building his brand while Pastor Troy's frustration mostly stayed one-sided. That quiet move said a lot without saying anything at all. But Pastor Troy wasn't the only tension in the picture. Lil Jon's relationship with Ying Yang Twins, the duo behind crunk hits like Get Low and Salt Shaker, reportedly hit rough patches over creative control, credit, and business splits. In interviews and podcasts, the twins shared that Lil Jon initially wasn't fully sold on Get Low and pushed back on certain ideas. When the record blew up and brought in major revenue, they later expressed feeling undervalued and boxed in. It wasn't full-blown hostility, but the tension was real and talked about publicly. Then came internal issues within Lil Jon and the East Side Boys. After their 2004 album Crunk Juice, the group split due to reported money disputes, legal complications, and internal disagreements. The breakup cleared the path for Lil Jon to go solo and stay highly visible, while the East Side Boys slowly stepped out of the spotlight. Business splits like that can leave long shadows behind the scenes. Dem franchise boys also accused Lil Jon of heavily influencing or stepping into their sound during the crunk to snap transition era, adding competitive energy to Atlanta's already heated scene. And there were reports of tension involving Lil Scrappy, who was signed to Lil Jon's BME label. At one point, 50 Cent was said to have pressured Lil Jon over Scrappy's affiliations, and Scrappy eventually left the label amid unresolved issues. Through all of it, Lil Jon's strategy stayed consistent. He rarely addressed conflict directly. No diss tracks, no public back and forth. He positioned himself as a crunk pioneer and focused on production, cross-genre work, and later, a personal reset. From 2024 through 2025, he openly spoke about prioritizing his mental and physical health, showing a completely different side of the man behind the ad-libs. Lil Jon openly admitted that his past heavy drinking was closely tied to his crunk party image. He later shared that around age 50, health scares involving his liver forced him to slow down and rethink everything. That wake-up call pushed him into serious change. He began EMDR therapy, committed to daily meditation, locked into a strict fitness routine, and even stepped on stage to compete in the 2025 Muscle Beach Championship. That's not just talk, that's a full reset. He said the shift was about being present and strong for his family. He specifically mentioned wanting to show up for his young daughter, born in 2024, and for his older son, Nathan. Lil Jon described overcoming what he called suffering in silence, something he recognized as common among men who bottle things up. He became vocal about self-care, mental wellness, and breaking that cycle. That transformation makes this current situation hit even harder. Here's someone who publicly rebuilt his life around health and family over the last 2 years, only to face the fear of his 27-year-old son suddenly going missing. His past relationship with Nicole Smith, Nathan's mother, reportedly ended in estrangement, which added layers to the family dynamic. Still, by all public accounts, Lil Jon and Nathan stayed close. They worked on music together. They showed up side by side on television. Nathan spoke warmly about his father, describing him as the tea-drinking, movie-watching dad behind the loud stage persona. On Boss Talk TV, the host captured that pain in real time, speaking on the kind of fear no parent ever wants to face. The hardest part to even imagine is the emotional weight of trying to stay strong when your child is missing. That kind of fear shakes everything. Compared to his father's global fame, Nathan kept a much lower profile as a DJ and producer. There were no public feuds tied to his name, no industry drama, no online clashes. His Instagram before he went missing showed family moments, studio sessions, and positive updates about his career. Nothing suggested chaos or conflict, but hip-hop history shows that carrying a famous last name can come with pressure you didn't sign up for. Sometimes past rivalries don't just disappear, and people start connecting dots that may not even exist. That's why seeing Nathan's name trend next to words like ops made some people uneasy. To be clear, there is no official evidence linking any rivalry to his situation. Authorities have approached this as a welfare and health-related concern, not a confirmed criminal case. Still, the footage of Nathan speaking warmly about his father hits differently now. In that clip, he talked about him in a normal, loving way. Watching that video circulate at the same time as a missing persons alert created a sharp emotional contrast that many viewers described as unsettling, not because of proof of wrongdoing, but because culture has conditioned people to expect the worst when a rapper's child makes headlines. Nathan Murray Smith has no known enemies, no documented beef, no reported personal conflicts. Yet the public reaction shows how quickly narratives can spiral when fame is involved. That reaction says more about the industry's history than about Nathan himself. And that's what makes this chapter feel so heavy and complicated. One of the most explosive recent examples of family lines being crossed came from the long-running tension between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. Their issues had been simmering since 2017, but in 2025, the online exchanges escalated in a way that many fans found deeply disturbing. Instead of staying focused on music, social media posts began referencing each other's families, which sparked serious backlash. Nicki Minaj, born Annika Tanya Mirage Petty, built her empire with albums like Pink Friday and became one of the most successful female rappers ever. During heated online moments, posts circulated that referenced Cardi B's children in disrespectful ways. Cardi B, born Belcalis Almanzar, who broke through with Bodak Yellow, responded with her own sharp words, and comments were made about Nicki's son as well. Both artists later issued statements that were framed as apologies, but critics argued the damage had already been done. The public reaction was strong, with many fans and commentators condemning the decision to involve children in adult disputes. Another major flashpoint happened during the 2024 clash between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. What started as lyrical competition turned intensely personal. Drake's track, Family Matters, questioned aspects of Kendrick's home life and relationship with his longtime partner, Whitney Alford. Kendrick fired back with Meet the Grams, directly addressing Drake's family members, including his young son, Adonis. In one line, Kendrick said, "I'm sorry that man is your father," a lyric that instantly went viral. The record also referenced claims about a previously unacknowledged child, which Drake publicly denied. Still, the impact of those lyrics echoed across the industry. These weren't subtle jabs or coded bars. They were direct references to children who had no role in the rivalry. That pattern of escalating beyond the artists themselves is what has many observers uneasy whenever family names start trending during hip-hop conflicts. It's a line that, once crossed, changes the tone completely. The idea of children being dragged into rap rivalries didn't start yesterday. A major turning point came in 2018 when Pusha T released The Story of Adidon, a diss track aimed at Drake. In that record, Pusha T revealed the existence of Drake's son Adonis to the public before Drake had formally introduced him himself. The track accused Drake of neglect and used shocking cover art that instantly sparked controversy. That single release forced Drake to publicly acknowledge his son, turning a private family matter into a global headline overnight. It set a new precedent. Personal life wasn't just fair game anymore. Family was too. Years later, during Drake's clash with Kendrick Lamar, the template of referencing relatives would resurface again in a more layered way. Once that line was crossed in hip-hop, it became harder to pull things back. Even before that, Eminem had drawn a firm boundary when it came to mentioning children. In 2003, Ja Rule referenced Eminem's daughter Haley in the track Loose Change, making remarks that fans saw as deeply personal. Eminem responded with aggressive diss records like Go to Sleep, intensifying their feud and contributing to Ja Rule's decline in mainstream momentum. That clash showed how quickly things escalate when family is mentioned. Later, Machine Gun Kelly made a controversial social media comment in 2012 about Eminem's daughter that resurfaced years later. In 2018, tensions boiled over with MGK's Rap Devil and Eminem's sharp reply Kill Shot, bringing the old remark back into the spotlight. Even Everlast, frontman of House of Pain, once referenced Haley in a remix verse in the early 2000s. Eminem fired back with Quitter, pushing that rivalry to a swift end. Time and again, history shows that when rap feuds involve family members, especially children, the fallout hits harder and lasts longer. Once that door opens, the energy shifts from competition to something far more personal and intense. The pattern felt obvious. When artists mentioned Eminem's daughter in diss records, the backlash was fierce and often career-altering. But the darker truth was this: rivals kept crossing that line anyway. That repetition showed how, in certain corners of the culture, family members were treated as fair game, even when the consequences were serious. In places like Jacksonville, Florida, rivalries between groups such as ATK and KTA, involving artists like Yoongjin Ace and the late Julio Fulio, escalated beyond music. Real-world incidents followed, and tragically, people connected to those circles were harmed. The lines between rap rivalry and street conflict blurred in ways that put entire communities at risk. There have also been reports out of Stockton, California, where gatherings connected to local rap circles were disrupted during ongoing disputes, creating dangerous situations where children were present. These moments represent the extreme edge of a spectrum that can begin with social media insults and diss lyrics, but in some cases, spill into real-life harm. And when that happens, it's not just artists affected, it's families, neighbors, and kids who had nothing to do with any disagreement. That broader history shapes how people react when they see footage of Nathan Murray Smith, also known as DJ Young Slade, circulating online. To be absolutely clear, there is no official evidence linking his situation to any rivalry or criminal act. Authorities have consistently described it as a welfare and health-related concern. Still, in a culture where past conflicts have sometimes touched family members, even an innocent clip of a young man describing his father as just dad can suddenly feel heavy. Not because of proof, but because history has trained audiences to expect the worst. And that expectation alone changes how everything is perceived. The second that young man went missing, people online instantly started connecting dots that may not even exist. But here's the truth. Lil Jon's past issues with Pastor Troy, the Yin Yang twins, former Lil Jon and the East Side Boys members, and other Atlanta-era competitors were never conflicts that led to threats against families. Pastor Troy vented on Murder Man and in interviews, and Lil Jon chose silence. The Yin Yang twins spoke about money and credit frustrations, and the relationship cooled off. These were business disputes, label politics, and the normal friction of a competitive music industry. Nothing more. But because of past high-profile clashes in hip-hop culture, whether it was Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, Drake and Kendrick Lamar, Pusha T revealing Adonis, or rivals mentioning Eminem's daughter Haley, the precedent has shaped public reaction. When a rapper's child makes headlines for any reason, the cultural reflex is to search for an enemy to blame. That reflex is powerful and sometimes reckless. In the final moments of the broadcast, the host of Boss Talk TV shifted the focus. He reminded viewers that this isn't about old rivalries or dramatic theories. It's about a father who cannot find his son. It's about a 27-year-old man who walked out of his home on a February morning and hasn't been heard from since. It's about a family asking for prayers and privacy while the internet dissects every angle for clicks. That's the real weight of this story. If you've been following this case, make sure you like this video, share it to spread awareness, drop your thoughts in the comments respectfully, and subscribe for continued updates. I'll see you in the next one.